and welcome to the Sparring Sessions podcast. My name's Dax, and we're here today to break down UFC Fight Night, Lewis versus Teixeira, going down in Nashville this coming Saturday. But first, I got to bring my co-hosts, as always, the two goats of Sparring Sessions, besides me. Big Will first. How you doing today?
What's going on, man? Happy to be back. We had some weddings, had some life going on, but had a week off, and it's a good time to come back. So I'm hyped for the card.
Yeah. Hey, at least you didn't get sick from the wedding. I'll tell you that. Ooh,
You
that
got messed
that
up.
wedding knocked me on my ass. Jeannie,
Uh,
the other one, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I am ready to go through some fights, man. It's been a boring off week, I won't lie, but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Yo,
these happen
did you
once.
pay for that, Genie?
Did I pay for the sign?
No, the haircut.
No, I didn't actually.
Uh,
I'm joking. Go ahead, go ahead.
love it. Well, welcome, gentlemen. We're here to break down UFC Fight Night. Like Will said, sorry we took a little break, had some shit going on. You know how life gets, but back in well, better than ever. Um, so yeah, we'll jump right in. No recap this week. There's no Fight Night. I mean, there's PFL Europe maybe. Um, But let's get right into this stuff everybody cares about. UFC Fight Night, Lewis versus Teixeira, going down in Bridgestone Arena, Nashville, United States. Um, Going down 6 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. main card. So not great, but better than UFC Atlanta. 10 p.m. main card start,
Oof.
six fights. You only got you got six this time, but I could see a few of them um, going under the 3 or 5 rounds.
I
Four
wish it was like
ranked fighters.
a 3 p.m. start, man. That'd be perfect.
Ooh,
That'd
that
be
would be
perfect.
perfect.
Yeah,
Especially, well, I guess, there's the heat right now in Nashville. Oof,
yeah. Oof.
eh, let's
No
hope it's air
bueno.
conditioned. Uh, let's see. 12 fights, four ranked fighters. Now, Jeannie, we'll go with you. Will did this game last time. Besides the top two and Stephen Thompson, can you guess the fourth ranked fighter on this card?
Um,
This was a tough one. I was very surprised that this fighter was ranked.
Calvin
Well,
Cater.
while he's doing that, let's just jump right into the recap while Genie's looking, or the
Oh,
overall rating.
Is it Calvin Cater?
It is Calvin Cater. Isn't that funny? I
yeah.
could
It
not
is.
believe he was still ranked over some of these guys.
He's
Ah,
been having high up fights though, I guess. Like
yeah, yeah.
close to the belt.
He's been
Losing
losing
them,
a
I
lot. I'll tell you that.
yeah,
All right. So, Will, give me an overall rating for this card. How you feeling about it?
I think the fact that it's in front of a crowd helps it a lot.
Yeah.
Give me 7-3, 7-3.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm big on Derek Lewis, big on guys like Mike Davis, Nate Landwehr. Man, I think it's going to be a fun card. Um,
Nice.
Not
Lauren
star-studded,
Murphy,
man,
right?
but plenty. Yeah, Lauren Murphy, man, she's been
Oh yeah.
she just got out of treatment. For, no, I'm joking.
Come on.
No, man, and it's not star-studded, but damn near everybody on this card pretty well. Um,
Yeah.
they're not the greatest, they're not the strongest, they're not the fastest, they're not the most elite, but it'll be a card for sure.
Uh, Jeannie, you somewhere around
This
there
is
too?
this is 6'5", 6'5" for me,
6.5?
and that's pushing it.
Yeah. I'll probably give it like a C plus, maybe. I feel like that's probably somewhere around a 6.5 too. Um, just missing some names. Yeah, there could be some exciting fights. There's also some fights I'm like, is this fight gonna suck? We can talk about it when we get into it though. Uh, Luckily, no canceled or fizzled bouts. There were some rumored bouts that I don't think fully made it, but we go by Tapology. So if it's not in that bottom section of canceled fights, we don't talk about it. Um, and yeah, so let's jump right in. First fight of the night, women's strawweight, Melissa Martinez versus Fatima Klein. Melissa Super Melly Martinez is going to be up first. She's a big underdog, plus 700. Oh, 27 years of age. She is 1-1 in the UFC. She made her short notice debut and then came back and beat the GOAT, everybody's favorite, Alice Ardelian, back in October. She's 27 years old, so she's going to be a little bit older despite than Fatima Klein, despite being, still in her 20s. Um, Klein on the other side, minus 1115. Huge number. Big favorite. Big favorite. Biggest on the card. The Archangel. I don't remember. I watched a good bit of her fights on the regional scene. I I cannot remember that being her nickname. I kind of like it though. You guys
Yeah.
like Archangel? We haven't seen that before, have we?
Kind of
Not something like
badass.
that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But I
Kind
I
of
like it.
badass.
She also made her short notice debut and then returned to her rightful weight class of strawweight and won her last fight. Kind of beat up Victoria Dudikova, I'll say. Um, so yeah, a few inches of height, but only 1 inch of reach for Fatima Klein. So we'll start with Jeannie. Jeannie, who are you going with in this fight?
I mean, it's got to be Fatima Klein.
Yeah,
Listen, I think the caliber of losses, Elise Reed and Jazz DeVicious, are a little different. They're a little
yeah,
different.
yeah.
One's a bit more high caliber than the other. And Fatima
Yeah.
Klein was putting up a good fight in that one against Jasmine, and came back after and completely battered Victoria Dudikova, made her look
Hmm.
like a chump. And the gash that she had, like it was like a TKO in the
Oof.
second round or something like that. She cut
Yeah.
Dudikova open really badly, like elbows, crazy ground and pound. Melissa Martinez, she's just this cardio kickboxing queen, circling around the cage for 15 minutes. It's
Queen.
got to be Fatima Klein winning this. I'll say a TKO.
TKO. You said the right
Yeah.
word. Queen. That's my goat. That's my goat right there. Will, I'm guessing, you're a huge Mexican MMA fan. I'm guessing you're gonna pick Melissa Martinez here.
I gotta go with Klein, man. They're about like they're
Yeah.
really contrasts of each other's styles. Martinez was getting thrown around by Melise Reed, and Klein would put her in a body bag. So, um, yeah, I think Klein's gonna take it to the ground, rinse and repeat. I think Elise Reed got like 3, 4 takedowns on Martinez, and that's not good. Because she's like a kickboxer to the umpth degree, herself. So, yeah, give me Klein, late finish. I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah. Elise Reed went 3 for 3 actually. You kind of stole my thunder there, Will. I was gonna pull out that great stat. Um, and Fatima Klein got a return takedown on Jasmine Jestovicius. So like the game plan's clear here. She's stronger. She's bigger. I mean, Melissa Martinez still a very good fighter. Like plus 700 is a huge number for somebody who only has one loss. It was short notice. You can falter a little bit, but you can't falter that much. She's also, I believe, a straw weight, like at heart. Like she was weighing in, or sorry, an atom weight. She was weighing in at atom weight at some point in her career, so she's pretty small. She's a little undersized, and yeah, this is Fatima, whatever it
One of the
is.
two.
Listen to DC say it on Saturday, and then say the other one because that's the correct one. Um, so no surprises in this first fight. Maybe the second fight. I don't know. We'll see. The it should be a good one though. Lightweights Mike Davis and Mitch Ramirez. I don't know why I had such trouble with those names. Excuse me.
Need
M
some
names.
caffeine,
Something about
buddy.
them get me. Mike Davis is also a big favorite, minus 900. If Fatima Klein wasn't on this card, I'd say he'd be the biggest favorite, but no, Fatima Klein's got to be. On the other side, Mitch Ramirez plus 600. Now, I do like Mitch Ramirez. He does have one of the coolest nicknames of all time in the UFC. It's the Fight Stalker. Do you guys know the story behind this?
No.
No? So there's a serial killer, I believe also by the name Mitch Ramirez. I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
yeah,
with that,
yeah.
Mitch Ramirez, and
Yeah.
he's called the Night Stalker. And
That's
Ah,
so the
funny.
Night Stalker, the Fight Stalker, I don't know. I love that. I heard about
That's
it
pretty cool.
after learning about the serial killer. But anyway, we'll start with the guy who's probably gonna lose. Mitch Ramirez, 0-1 in the UFC, 0-1 on Contender Series. He kind of had a shitty run. He had some shitty luck. Carlos Prates on the Contender Series, and then short notice debut against Thiago Moises. When, Thiago Moises, granted, not the best anymore, but still, like,
Max
you know,
bet of the century, man.
he was a
No,
top
no,
15
I'm joking.
guy at one point. Um, Mike Davis on the other side, 4-2. He's one of those guys who is really good, but just does not fight at all. He's coming off the unanimous decision loss to Fred CM in February. I think this is the first time he's fighting twice in a year in since he
2019.
beat up Thomas Gifford in 2019. That was a crazy beatdown. Crazy. Um, anyway, Mike Davis is going to have an inch of height, inch and a half of reach. Surprisingly, the same age. I thought Mitch Ramirez would be a little bit younger, but no, both 32. So, we'll go with you here first. Are you going with the Night Stalker or Beast Boy? Also a very good
Uh,
nickname.
you got to go with Mike Davis. I got to figure out what did Mitch Ramirez do to the matchmakers, because this is his third fight. That's just really a bad situation to be in. Mike Davis has been a
Yeah.
lot more active lately. This is like his third fight in like 16 months or something like that, 14 months.
Hmm.
Um, so dude, if Mike does good here, doesn't take much damage, you might do three this year.
Yeah.
Um, which would be, I don't know, that'd be pretty impressive for Mike Davis. Yeah, Mike Davis, I think is gonna take him down, smash him. Could definitely get a finish. But definitely Mike. I definitely think Mike's gonna win for sure.
I agree. Thiago Moises got um, two takedowns on him. I mean, obviously, Carlos Prates just killed him, and I think Mike Davis is probably a better striker than Thiago Moises, and Moises TKO'd him with leg kicks, if I remember correctly. I do
Yeah,
have to correct myself. It was Richard Ramirez or Rich Ramirez, not Mitch, but it's close. It's close enough, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Jeannie, you with us here? Is this Mike Davis's fight to lose?
Yeah, it's gotta be. Like, you'd think after
Yeah.
Mitch Ramirez takes the fill-in bout against Tiago, they would give him a nice full camp opponent, But no,
Like a
you're getting a
Nope.
Winston
Mike.
Wilson or something
Yeah,
Uh,
along those
a
lines.
Mike Davis coming off of a loss when he's trying to stay active, and like my biggest gripe with Mike Davis the entire time has been his inactivity, So him coming
yeah.
back and being kind of active, I can be confident in Mike Davis finally. This guy's gonna win a fight, and he's got a very winnable opponent. It's got to be Mike Davis winning this one by decision.
Mm, by decision. Interesting.
Yeah.
Let's hope not. Let's hope it's a KO for Will. Um, but yeah, should be a good fight. I think these are two guys who are generally very exciting. Have good fights. The same cannot be said about these next two gentlemen. I'll say that. Let's jump up to heavyweights. Kendi and Nzechukwu, the African Savage versus Volter, the Clean Monster Walker. Now, I don't know about you, but if anybody's ever said, hey, I'm not on steroids without being prompted, they're probably on steroids. So let's start with the man who's probably on steroids. Vulture Walker's 2-1 in the UFC. His only loss is against. Can either you guys remember whose losses against in the UFC?
Fresh, Breshki.
You do remember? Okay. I would not. I did not remember that.
I was gonna
Even
say
that
Martin
Lucas Brzeski
Budaj.
had a win in the UFC. He's on a heel hook streak, two in a row. Danto Mays and Junior Tafa, who we'll talk about later. So it's not like it's anybody crazy. On the other side, Nzechukwu, he is 8-5 in the UFC, including a main event win. You guys remember he main evented against Ilan Kutalaba in the
Oh,
Apex, of
what was
course.
the fight that pulled out? That was the main event that pulled out.
I think that was Lewis and Spivak.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Let me check that real quick, actually, because it was day of, right? It was
Yeah, it was like
yeah,
mid
it was Lewis and
broadcast.
Spivak. Yeah, that was a weird one. We haven't. I guess we did have that just recently with Blanchfield and
Barber.
Barber. Thank you. Anyway, 8-5 in the UFC, 2-0 since moving up to heavyweight. He just KO'd Lucas Brzeski. So there you go. Um, Despite the guy moving up to heavyweight, he's going to have 5.5 inches of reach. Walter Walker is going to have an inch of height, and Walter Walker is going to be 6 years younger. Although this is heavyweight, that doesn't matter this much. Um, so this one's me actually. Give me Kennedy and Nzechukwu here. I obviously the heel hook is a worry, but like Genie's flag in the background, we love our Nigerian fighters here. Um, he's got power up at heavyweight. He seems to want to finish. I mean, he's always a finisher, but he seems like he got that spark again, that he just didn't have in the OSP fight. Um, I would be more worried if Walter Walker was a better wrestler. I don't think he's that good of a wrestler. And yeah, yeah, I think he can kind of keep it on the feet. Maybe I don't know if he gets a finish, but he's sure going to try for one. And yeah, maybe give me a decision here. Maybe it's a little bit boring though. Jeannie, I'm gonna go to you next. You got a look on your face that tells me you're picking Walter Walker. Why?
I
Why, Jeannie?
want to. I want to, but I feel like I'd be a fool. I don't really have a reason to. Um, Apart from like he looked a bit, he had better shape than his first fight in the UFC when he fought Dontel Mays. He came in
It's
and
true.
he did look a lot better. But he's at a 6-inch reach disadvantage here, and yeah, Kennedy did look really good in his last one against Lucas Brzeski. So
Hmm.
yeah, I guess it's got to be Kennedy and Chekchukwu, mate. Probably TKO.
Yeah.
You know, second or third
Mm.
round maybe.
Will, I know you're not picking against the Nigerian fighter on the card. Let's hear it.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'll say this, I would not be surprised if Walker wins the fight. But
No.
yeah, give me Kennedy. I think the style is really gonna be a difference maker. I think those straight kicks up the middle for Kennedy are there to the body, to the head, whatever he chooses to do. Those straight shots will get to his head pretty well. I think he'll defend takedowns. He has a pretty good takedown defense percent. Um, Walker. He just had some really good matchups. Like Dontel
Hmm.
Mays can't defend and take down against you. Uh, Junior Top has been taken down by every fighter he's fought except for Parker Porter. So yeah, give me Kennedy and Dechiku. Maybe by a late TKO, I think.
Yeah, I think something like that. I also would not be shocked. I forgot to read out the odds. Minus 200 for Nzechukwu, plus 170 for Walker. Kind of where I expected them to be. Nzechukwu's usually a decent favorite, and kind of the odds where you're hesitant about playing it just because it's heavyweights. So, good job, FanDuel or whatever, wherever I'm getting these lines. Next up, women's flyweight. Eduarda Ronda Mora versus Lauren Lucky Lauren Murphy. I'll give her the pre first name nickname. Mora is a minus 650 favorite, big favorite. Sorry, minus 700 now. I had to refresh. She's coming off that unanimous decision win over Bronca Hardy back in November. That was her first time up at flyweight. She missed weight at strawweight twice before then. Seemed to handle it pretty well, I'll say. Lauren Murphy on this other side, 8-6 in the UFC. It's been a while. She got demolished by Jessica Andrade in January of 2023, back when Jessica Andrade was good at flyweight, and then
That was a pay per
disappeared.
view main
We haven't
event,
seen her
right?
since. It was on the main card, right? I think it was. Was it on the poster? Is the question. That it was not on the
Yeah.
poster. It was fourth from the top.
Imagine watching that
Johnny,
fight and you had your valuable coins on drive by TKO, and Murphy's
I
just
don't.
juggernauting, getting the shit kicked out of her for 3 rounds.
I don't have to imagine. I did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Oh man.
yeah. Lauren Murphy's 10 years older than Eduarda. She's 41 years old. 2 inches of reach for Lauren Murphy though, who did used to fight at bantamweight. So it's like a little bit of that either side of the division thing. So um, we'll head to you here. We'll call her your work wife. Yeah, so your real wife doesn't get jealous. Are
What do
you
I
going with
work in a
Lauren
soup
Murphy?
kitchen?
Are you going with Lucky? Are you going with Ronda, Brazilian Ronda?
Um, I want to say that the odds are pretty wild on this, because like you
You
said,
think?
I think so. Yeah, I think when you get fighters that are meeting in the middle from prior weight classes, the one was up, one was down. I think that's a big difference in strength. I think Mora is just gigantic for 115, so I think she's a pretty
Hmm.
good sized 125er because she made Veronica Hardy look small. I think Veronica Hardy
Yeah,
could be a strawweight. Um, but I also think there was contrast because I think Hardy could make 15. Um,
probably.
I Murphy's old, but I know she's active in like the Houston like MMA scene. Like she's always at events, she's always training.
Hmm.
So it's not like she just took 2 years away from the sport. Give me more probably by decision, but I don't think a lucky win is out of the question. Like I really think the odds are wild. This
Yeah,
fight is, not a ranked women's fight, and those fights can go any way. So,
yeah,
um, yeah, Murphy's a vet. I wouldn't be surprised if she wins, but I don't think she will. Give me Mora.
yeah. I was looking. I couldn't believe that Jessica Andrade got. They only credited her with one takedown and zero knockdowns against Lauren
Wow.
Murphy. Lauren Murphy went 0 for 15 on takedowns in that fight, though.
Hmm.
Yeah, give me Mora here. Stronger, younger. I mean, almost everything's in her favor. The only thing
Yeah.
is like Lauren Murphy just hasn't lost to. She's not on like that. She hasn't lost to a prospect in
It's been a
6
while.
years, 7 years.
Yeah.
I mean, Valentina Shevchenko and Jessica Andrade are her only two losses since 2018. Granted, she has three fights since 2020, so it's like,
Do you guys remember that
eh,
girl that they brought in for Murphy to beat? Do you remember the guys? You guys remember that? Like she fought once, got choked out by Murphy, and then left.
oh, I'm seeing it now.
Uh,
Lilia
yeah, they brought her in on
Jakarova, what?
short notice and like was like, "Yeah, here goes a win for you." I thought that was
hasn't
funny.
fought since.
Hasn't fought since.
Yeah,
I think she's still contracted with the UFC.
probably. They're
Um,
probably gonna give her another one.
I checked out her
Well, if she ever
Instagram.
comes back.
She's in Phuket, just training. So uh,
Well,
whatever.
you know, you only get one
Shout out
shot.
to
I guess.
her. Yeah, shout out to her, man.
Guess she's making the most of it.
Oh
Um,
man.
so Jeannie, you with us on Rhonda here?
Yeah, her topology photo is throwing me off right now. Like it's like some 5-year-old photo of her on the regional scene, and she has like no jawline, man. Like this is throwing
Yeah.
me off. But you go to UFC.com and it's got the right topology, or it's got the right photo there with
Hmm.
UFC gear. She's a big girl, you know. And Lauren
Yeah.
Murphy, she
Yeah.
hasn't fought in a while. Yeah, it's got to be Moira. It's got to be Moira. I think she's going to go on a couple fight streak here, most likely. But I could see a close to a finishing moment, maybe. But it's probably going to go to a decision. Like maybe she
Interesting. What was
cracks her
that
at one
website?
point, and then
What
what do you
was
say?
that website you just mentioned? What website did you not like her photo on?
Topology in
Apology.
the matchup photo. In the matchup photo, when you would
Yeah.
go,
Yeah, it's like a really young picture of her.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I just need that sound clip. Thank you. All right. Next fight.
Am I saying topology wrong?
Yeah. Tapology. Tap.
Oh, you're really pronouncing the
Tapology.
tap.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
I see.
Well,
All right.
it's MMA chat, by the way. Um, all right. Next up. Welterweight fight. Chidi and
Hold
Jokwani
on.
versus Jake
Let
Matthews.
Jeannie pronounce the matchup. This matchup right here.
Oh, wow. All right. Let's hear it.
Next fight on the card, we've got Jake Matthews versus Chidi and Jaquani.
Okay. Okay. I like it.
All
I like
right,
it.
all right.
I got some for you later. Jimmy. Um, Chidi Bang Bang Jokwani versus Jake the Celtic Kid Matthews. Some pretty good nicknames. Chidi had a nickname back in Bellator. I couldn't find his fight online, so I couldn't remember what it was, but it was something weird. Um, anyway, Chidi and Jokwani, he's 5-3 in the UFC. He was 5-3 in Bellator as well. He wasn't just like a flash in the pan, sign him for one fight there. 3-fight winning streak. Since coming down to welterweight, although he did miss weight by 2 pounds last time out against Zaleski dos Santos. He had kind of more of a middling career at middleweight before then, lost a few to some mid guys. On the other side, Jake Matthews, career welterweight. These are two vets. He's 14-7 in the UFC. Two-fight winning streak, most recently against Francisco Prado at UFC 312. That was a pretty good win. I had some money on Francisco Prado, if I remember correctly. Um, Despite having more fights in the UFC, Jake Matthews is still only 30. 21 fights in the UFC, 30 years old. Chidi is 36. I thought he was like in his 40s, but no, 36. 4 inches of reach, or sorry, 7 inches of reach, 4 inches of height for Chidi, and he's the minus 150 favorite. Jake Matthews coming back on the other side at plus 130. So I believe this is you, Jeannie. No, this is me, isn't it? Give me Jake Matthews here. Plus 130, I'll take the underdog money. Chidi is good. I don't think he's like um I don't think he's kind of they seem to want to give him a little bit of a push, which understandable. If not any time they're going to, it's now. But Jake Matthews is a pretty good gatekeeper to the top, like not exactly the top 15, maybe like the top 20 of the division. Anthony Rocco Martin, Sean Brady, Michael Morales. We're going to ignore the Matthew Semelsberger one. But for the most part, they put guys against him who they want to test. They want to see if he can, I'm sorry, well, Andre Fiallo, see if they're ready for the top 15, top 20. Darius Flowers, Francisco Prado, Phil Rowe, Um, and I was joking about the Darius Flowers, don't worry. He's pretty tough. I do think this is going to be a striking match. I mean, Jake Matthews can mix in the wrestling if he wants. I don't know if he'll want to. I mean, probably he's not a big wrestler, but he does sometimes. Um, but just a tough guy, young, ever evolving, and yeah, I think I don't think Njokuani should be the favorite here. So give me the somehow more UFC vet of the two. I don't know. We'll go next to Jeannie. You going Cheaty here, or are you with me on the underdog?
I I think I'm gonna go Cheaty here. The reach
Yeah.
advantage is wild. He's got a 7-inch
Mhm.
reach advantage on him, and that's huge. 4-inch height advantage is pretty huge as well. He's gonna look like a completely different weight category compared to Jake Matthews. I think like he towers over some of these guys. Like
Yeah.
and he really made Zaleski look like a chump in his last fight. What was that, a short notice replacement, or was that like a
No,
full?
I think that was a full
No,
fight.
that was. And like he's been on a run. He's kind of starting to be. This is his prime almost at 36 years old. It's kind of wild how that works. But Jake Matthews, I don't know. He still hasn't really impressed me recently. The Phil Rowe one, it was a unanimous decision win, but Phil Rowe was just letting him piece him up the entire fight. Just wasn't throwing back. And
Hmm.
Francisco Prado, I don't think Prado is on the same level as Cheaty. I think Cheaty would beat Francisco Prado if they fought. So I think I'm gonna say Cheaty wins this one. It will be a decision win. It might be a back and forth
Okay.
brawl, but yeah, I think Cheaty's gonna get it done.
All right. Well, we had to disagree somewhere here. Will settle you know, mommy and daddy are fighting. Who are you picking custody with?
Somebody's due to get knocked out here. You know that? You know who's
Ooh,
due to get knocked
interesting.
out here? It's Jake
Oh boy.
Matthews.
Ah,
Jake
wow.
Matthews, man, he got boxed up by Matt Semelsberger, and Matt Semelsberger is not in the company anymore. I think Chitty's really finding his stride. He showed that he can be versatile with his attack in his first two fights at welterweight. He kind of just grinded people out. He just kind of held them against the cage. Something Jake Matthews done. So if Jake Matthews comes into this trying to grind him against the cage, Chitty's so big, man. I think this is another one of those cases where Chitty Chitty probably could get win to 205 if he wanted to. Um,
Mm,
and Jake Matthews is a former 155er. So I think when you have those two discrepancies, man, I think, man, you got to go Chitty. I think Chitty's takedown defense will hold up. I think similar to what I said about the Kennedy and Zechku fight. I think those straight shots, those knees up the middle, those kicks, those straight punches, man. I think Chidi's gonna hurt Jake at some point and put him out. So
Mm.
I feel pretty good about that.
Okay,
And
interesting.
and and
I
and
don't hate
Jake's
it.
not easy to knock out. He's only been knocked out once, and that was Kevin Lee a decade ago. But time's been
Yeah,
ticking, and he's due to get slept. So
I agree. He is even in the reason he lost that Semmelsberger fight. I remember I was watching on a plane actually. He won all three rounds, but he got knocked down in each of them, and so he just lost. Knockdown just does that much to the judges,
yeah,
and
man. So clearly he can get hurt. He could definitely get hurt
yeah.
on more than once. Jake Matthews is what was it? Australian MMA fans wanted him to be Volk, and he did not turn into that.
No,
Watched his whole
maybe
career, man. He's just been super inconsistent. So, um, yeah, tough.
maybe he'll be their Charles Oliveira and make a late career.
Uh, Maybe he'll be
He's
there.
still.
What's that dude's name? That's uh Malarkey. He'll be there, Jamie Malarkey at some point.
I think Jamie Malarkey is their Jamie Malarkey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, speaking of Australians who are going to lose, Junior Tafa versus Tuco Tokos, light heavyweights. Let's start with Junior Tafa first, the Juggernaut. That does not ring any bells with me. Has he always been the Juggernaut?
Yeah, yeah.
I can't believe that. Anyway, 2-3 in the UFC. His two wins are Parker Porter and Sean Sharaf. Most recently, he's fought back in October. All were at heavyweight. I don't think he's ever fought at light heavyweight, but he's making his debut in this fight against Tuco Tokos. No nickname for Mr. Tokos. What was his first nickname?
Gorgeous. Well, his nickname is Tuco, but he goes by the nickname so often.
Yeah, sure.
It was Gorgeous George. Gorgeous George
Gorgeous
Tokos.
George. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's one of those Max Holloway situations where it's not actually his name, but that's just what he goes
Jerome.
by.
Yeah,
Jerome.
yeah.
Tuco is 0-2 in the UFC. Most recently, unanimous decision loss to Navajo Sterling back in December at Tampa. Personally, I thought he won that. You go look at the strikes were a little uneven, but the head shakes. Tuco had way more head shakes, and judges. Ugh,
10-8, 10-8 head shakes.
don't let me get into it. I'm just gonna get upset. Um, Tuco's a good bit older, 35 versus 28 for Junior Tafa. Uh, we're going to see how Junior Tafa looks on the scale. I mean, he looks pretty good on Instagram. We were talking before about you know all that changes once you make that first cut. 1 inch of height, 4 inches of reach for Tuco, despite being the guy who's at the natural weight. Um, and minus 150 for Junior, plus 130 for Tuco. I believe it's Jeannie here. So Jeannie, let's hear it.
I mean,
Let's hear your
come on. What are we doing here?
Tuco. I'm kidding. Will, tell me why we're picking Tuco Toka. We are picking Tuco
You guys
Tokos.
hear that? Dogs are
Well,
barking. Dogs are
the
barking.
dogs are barking.
No, man. I think Tuco's given he's been given a bad shake by the UFC. Came in on 3 days' notice and lost to at the time, undefeated prospect that was running through everybody he was fighting. And then he fought Navajo Sterling, another undefeated prospect who was looking very impressive up until probably that fight. Um, Tuco shows that Tuco's pretty good everywhere. He is pretty damn good everywhere in the fight. Um, in the Navajo fight, you can see that his chin's there. He can take shots, and he can also stay composed and wrestle when he needs to because he got a good bit of control time in that fight. Watching it live and then watching it back on ESPN Plus, the fight was close. Like he lost the fight, but the fight was a lot closer than it might have appeared in person. You and I were at that fight, and
Yeah, we were.
it definitely seemed like it was further away in person than it was maybe over ESPN Plus, but he got three takedowns in that fight, and I think Navajo is better at defending takedowns than Tafa. I think
Yep.
Navajo is probably a bit bigger than Tafa too. Um, yeah, I mean, I think I think this is important. everybody that Parker, or I'm sorry, Junior Tafa has fought has taken him down except for Parker Porter because Tafa got him out of there in 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Tuco's shown that he can get takedowns. I think Tuco's going to take him down and submit him because he's a black belt. I doubt Tafa even has a blue belt. I don't know. I don't think Tafa probably even trains in a gi. Um, but yeah, man, give me Tuco by submission, man. He's a good friend of mine. Um, and I'm pretty confident in this fight. This is a winnable fight for him, and I believe in him. So give me Tuco by submission.
Yeah, I'm with you. Getting taken down twice by Bolter Walker, getting taken down by Sean Sharaf, not good looks here. Um, and Tuco, the Navajo Sterling loss is looking a lot better, especially after Navajo Sterling kind of like he had a pretty tough fight against Ivan Erslan. Kind of showed
Yeah, yeah,
he I don't want to say he's the real deal, but he's a fighter. He's not just a striker. I'll say that. Which looks good for Tuco. Um, and I do think he can take him down. I think he should take him down, especially, he kind of waited to get going in the Navajo Sterling fight, and I think if he comes out and is just on the, light heavyweight Murad out here, then this is his fight to lose. If he comes out and tries to strike with Junior, I think that's just a bad idea. He's a intelligent enough fighter, and I think if he just knows his game plan and just knows like this is a must win, I need to wrestle this guy, I think he wins this fight. Jeannie, are we making this our underdog of the week, or are you going on Will's shit
We,
list?
yes, we. Listen, I think Junior Taffa absolutely sucks. I think this dude is trash. He's a quitter. We saw it in the Walter Walker fight. This dude is a little girl. When anything doesn't go his way in a fight, he cowers and he fucking bitches and complains. Tuco, at least he's not doing that against Navajo Sterling, you know? Junior Taffa,
Hmm.
he's an abysmal fighter, and I think this is a very winnable fight for Tuco, man. I don't get the minus 200 odds. I think that's a little disrespectful. I get he lost two in a row, but we're disrespecting Gorgeous George. I think we're getting Gorgeous George. We're not getting Tuco. We're getting Gorgeous George. Like, when Max
Gorgeous
Holloway shows up,
George.
they're like, we're getting Jerome. We're getting
okay.
Gorgeous George this Saturday.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting a
With
submission
that
win for Tuco.
confidence, put all your money on Junior. No, I'm just kidding. That I believe is our. Well, Will, would you like to make it official?
That's our underdog of the week. Yes, sir.
There we go. Love it. Um, all right. Well, let's move on to the next fight. Kind of a reverse here. We got a guy going up to heavyweight versus a guy who's entrenched there. So let's start with Austin Lane, and we'll move on later to Vitor Petrino. Isao? I don't remember this nickname either. Maybe I'm just bad with nicknames this card, but Isao, I got nothing. That doesn't mean anything to me. Um, and I've seen a Vitor Petrino fight. And Austin Lane, 1-3 with one no contest in the UFC. I have seen an Austin Lane fight as well. You have as well, Will. We were there when he got no contest eye pokes in 30
Like
seconds.
10,
And
yeah.
where was
Horrible,
that?
man.
Jacksonville? Yeah, that was
Jacksonville,
Jacksonville.
yeah.
Big band up there. Um, anyway, Austin Lane's coming off a devastating right hook KO. He got KO'd against Mario Pinto, and he's making a pretty quick turnaround for getting brutally knocked out against Vitor Petrino, who's coming up to heavyweight after getting knocked out pretty bad himself back in December. We were also there. Um, Two-fight losing streak for Vitor Petrino. He lost to Anthony Smith before then. This is his, at least in the UFC heavyweight debut, so we'll see how it goes for him. He wasn't he wasn't a fat light heavyweight, so he was pretty in shape, so I'm gonna be interested to see how he looks here. Austin Lane, the natural heavyweight's gonna have 4 inches of reach, or sorry, 3.5 inches of reach and 4 inches of height. And he's 10 years older. The former Jacksonville Jaguars, right? Was he a
The
tight end?
end. He was like a D
The
end.
end?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
This one I know is Genie. Genie, you got the minus 700 Vitor Petrino or the plus 500 Austin Lane here?
Listen, listen, Austin. No,
Uh, uh,
Austin Lane. I don't. I've never picked this dude to win a fight. I don't know. I don't like the wrestling football takedown style that he's got. That he just lays on top of you.
mhm.
I've never been a fan of Austin Lane, but you know, Rebellis to
Austin Lane was
Spain,
never my
man.
friend.
Rebellis to Spain, man. I'm
Yeah,
still thinking back about that one. He was just able to lay on Rebellis for 3 whole rounds. That was
yeah,
painful. But Vitor kind of needs this win. You know, he's got two
yeah,
bad
badly.
losses in a row, both by finish, and he was face down in his last loss. So pretty
Hmm.
bad one there. I think he really needs he needs a good finish here to get him back on the right track. So I'll say a
Yeah.
round 1 or 2 finish for Vitor Petrino.
Okay. Will, where are you going in this fight?
This sounds stupid, but I think these two fighters are similar in the sense that they really have a hard time blending their games together. They're
Mm.
either only striking or they're trying to take you down as much as they can, which is really weird. Now we've seen both their chins cracked. Petrino only once, but Lane multiple times. He had a
Hmm.
war with Juan Adams on the regional scene, and that's not a guy you want to have a war with on the regional scene. Shout out the Kraken.
Go.
You give me Petrino probably by knockout, but I think one of these guys is gonna be trying to take the other down, and it's gonna look really bad for them. So yeah, give me Petrino by knockout.
Yeah, I think Petrino is a lot smarter than he gets kind of credit for. Uh, you know, I've heard people call him like a dumb fighter or like a musclehead maybe. I don't think that's true. I mean, he was winning that Dustin Jacoby fight. It was boring as all hell, but he was up 2 rounds to 0 before he got slapped. And he probably would have won that Anthony Smith fight because it's Anthony Smith.
Nope,
No offense, Will.
nope.
No offense. Um, and he can be smart. He took down Tyson Pedro 3 times. Everybody knows Tyson Pedro can't wrestle. He took down Marcin Prachnio 4 times and wrestled him. And then he knocked out Modestas Bukauskas and Rodolfo Blotto. I think he's a pretty well-rounded fighter. I do think mixing the aspects of his game are kind of where he has trouble. I don't see Austin Lane putting up any resistance to that. The only reason I'm not like rushing to the books to put minus 700 on Petrino is that Austin Lane, he's looked pretty bad his entire career, but he looked good in that first round against Mario Pinto. He took down Rebels to Spain 3 times. Um I believe he took down Jonata Denise. Yeah, he won that first round. So he's showing like he can win moments. He can win moments, but I think Vitor Petrino like is pretty much just gonna style on him here.
I think the speed is
Maybe
going to
like
be a pretty big discrepancy too.
speed, yeah. The only thing like I'm just not rushing to put minus 700 in my parlays. This is a very hesitant. It's a heavyweight fight. This is a very hesitant pick on
If you can get this fight to
Vitor
not
Petrino.
not start round three, I think that'd be I don't know what that might be, but that sounds like a pretty good bet to me.
I think it would be like
Yeah,
minus
yeah,
500.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
hopefully
All
not.
right. Next up, 145ers, and this is where Genie comes in to read off this next fight for us.
Nate Landwehr versus Morgan Charrier. We 18 and
Sure.
6 versus 20 and 11
I'll give it
2011
to you.
and one.
2011
and
and 1. Yeah,
1.
Genie lives up in there in Canada, so he actually has a better more authority on the French language than me. Ghost Charrier here, the last pirate. He was a former Cage Warriors champion. That's on his. Is that belt in his Tapology? I thought the Cage Warriors
Yeah,
belts looked different.
yeah, that's Cage Warriors, I think.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, like Jeannie said, 20, 11, and 1. He is minus 255. He has fought at lightweight before. This is at featherweight though. Um, pretty good Cage Warriors run. I don't usually go back into the regional stuff, but I do just want to shout out here some of his regional fights because it's kind of crazy. He has a win over Alexei Oleinik, not that Alexei Oleinik. I just want to say that name. William Gomi, that William Gomi. Losses to Salahadin Parnas, Ruslan Kazmirazev, Soren Bach,
Soren
Jordan
Bach.
Vucenic.
You're a
Jordan
Bellator guy.
Vucenic. I love Soren Bach. Um, Paul Hughes, and then he has wins over, or he has a win over, there was another guy, Pedro Souza. Yeah. Oh, no, not that guy. I'm missing something. Anyway, in the UFC, he's a little he's not faring as well. He's 2-2. On the other side, Nate the Train Landwehr, 5-4 in the UFC. I was shocked that he did not have more fights. I could have sworn he had like 30 fights. I also confused him with Darren Elkins. 5-0 in M1 Global before that. He was just beating up a bunch of Russians in Russia. Um, Charrier is going to be 8 years younger at 29, and Landwehr is going to have an inch of reach and 3 inches of height. This one is, I've lost track. We're just going to go with Jeannie. Jeannie, who you got here in this matchup of talented featherweights?
I think Morgan Charrier is going to win this one. Nate
Oh,
Landwehr, I
it's
mean,
okay.
I cannot. After a Doohoo Choi, I thought he was going to beat Doohoo Choi in that one. Maybe it was a bad pick too, um, but he looked pretty bad. He was just getting beat up, and I think the tide's turning for Nate the Train now. And Morgan Charrier is 8 years younger. He's slight reach disadvantage, but he's a dynamic striker, and he's got good grappling as well. I think he's going to take this one. It'll be a decision win, I'll say.
Hmm.
But I think, Morgan Charrier is going to win. That's
Interesting.
going to be the
Okay,
pick.
Will, you're a Nate Landwehr
Um,
guy.
I'll be honest here. I don't think much of Morgan Charrier. Uh,
No.
I don't think much of him at all. He beat Gabriel Miranda. Who cares? I picked him against Nathaniel Wood. Or no, I'm sorry. I picked Nathaniel Wood against Morgan. I was pretty confident in that when people were all over Morgan Charrier. Um, I just don't think much of him. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if Nate wins. I'm gonna go ahead and pick Nate to win this fight. By what way? I'm not
Okay.
really sure, but this guy's a prospect and he has 11 losses. That's a lot of losses for a prospect.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of that. His style really doesn't really speak to me at all. Like he has nothing. He's meat and potatoes to me, and it's not really. It's very bland. So give me Nate Landwehr. Late finish wouldn't be a surprise. Decision wouldn't be a surprise. But yeah, give me Nathan Train. He's in his hometown
Yeah.
too, so then the moments that he's gonna have are
Mm.
gonna be much louder um than Morgan. But they're gonna boo the shit out of him. They're gonna cheer when late Landwehr whiffs at a jab. So
Yeah.
um yeah, unless Nate gets finished, man, I think it's gonna be a close fight for most of the time. And in that case, give me the hometown guy, Nate Landwehr.
I agree. I think Nate Landwehr is going to win this fight. I forgot completely this is in Tennessee. Well, no, I remember it's in Tennessee. I forgot he was a Tennessee guy. Um, and yeah, I think there's going to be a striking match. I mean, Charrier could take him down. That's kind of how Ho Choi won. I think that was kind of a surprise though, and I feel like at least if I were in this camp, I'd be like, yeah, this guy's going to come in and try to wrestle you now that, Du Ho Choi's done it. Um, and I think Nate Landwehr can win. He kind of thrives on that crowd, you know. He thrives on he builds momentum as the fight goes on, and I think we get a little Nate the Train on the mic after. And yeah,
Parkville, Parkville.
we get nah, I'm not gonna go there. Next up, featherweights again. Calvin the Boston finisher Cater versus Steve Mean Machine Garcia. The 145. Stunningly, Calvin Cater is ranked at number 14. I'm a little shocked. I'm not gonna lie here. I disagree. Anyway, we're gonna start with the favorite here. Steve Garcia is a minus 120, so not a huge favorite. Um, 6-2 in the UFC, 5-2 in Bellator. He's on a 5-fight winning streak against some names as Cal Nelson, Sung Woo Choi, Melky Costa, Chase Hooper. Before that, he beat the GOAT, Charlie Ontiveros. On the other side, Calvin Kattar is on a 4-fight losing streak. Aljamain Sterling, well, let me go in order. Josh Emmett, Arnold Allen, he tore his ACL. Aljamain Sterling, and Yusuf Zalal. Most recently in February, he's 7-7 in the UFC. Another guy I could have sworn he had more fights than 14 in the UFC, you know? Anyway, uh, despite being on a 4-fight losing streak versus a 5-fight winning streak, Calvin Kattar, yeah, plus 100. He is 4 years older than Steve Garcia. Garcia is going to have an inch of reach and an inch of height. So this one's me. This one's me. Give me Steve Garcia here. These odds are crazy. I know Calvin Kattar has the chin, but his chin is not like chin's crack. You know, he got beat up. He got punched. What was it? 600 times against Max Holloway? 500 times? Something like
I think it
that.
was like
Something
seven,
crazy.
700.
Yeah, something crazy where like how this guy has a great chin. Yes, he's never been KO'd except for the, I mean, Arnold Allen, which is a ACL injury. You can't count that, but he just looks slow. His chin isn't what it used to be. Like he's not taking shots as well. Chin's crack. I think Steve Garcia could crack his chin, or Aljamain Sterling took him down. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. Let me pull it up here. Aljamain Sterling took him down 8 times. Yeah, I was at that fight. It was incredibly boring. He went 8 for 13. Um, and Steve Garcia can wrestle. I mean, he took down who did he take down in sub? He took down Melky Costa, who I would say is a much better grappler than Calvin Kattar. And he took down Charlie Ontiveros. No, we're not going to count that. There was another one. Anyway, I think, yeah, Steve Garcia kind of wins this. However, he's young, he's hungry, he's training with Justin Gaethje, so you know he's getting the work in. Yeah, give me Steve Garcia here, Jeannie. You with me?
Yeah, I think Calvin Cater's a little past his prime. Steve Garcia, he's a fucking beast. Like I
Yeah,
don't know how many knockouts in a row this dude needs to get, but he's a fucking beast, man. Um, I will say some of those Kyle Nelson punches were behind the head, but um, that's neither here
yeah.
nor there.
Anyways,
Canadian, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah. But
his
Calvin
wife was
Cater,
going crazy on Instagram about that.
Was she
yeah.
really?
She was going nuts, bro. Battling people in comments and shit. It was wild.
No, it was kind of fucked up, but four losses in a row for Calvin Cater, and I think it's just gonna get worse for here. Like Steve Garcia, this guy's got no, he's got violence in his veins, man. This guy's coming in the first round, 30 seconds in, he's throwing everything to the wall, trying to get you out of there, and I don't know if Calvin can take it anymore. So I'll say Steve Garcia by
Yeah.
KO or TKO.
Ooh, KO, interesting. Okay, well, round us out here.
We brought up Max Holloway. I want to ask you guys a question. What do you guys think the
Yeah.
odds were of Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar? The opening odds.
Oh, I actually remember this. I'll let Jeannie go first because I do remember the odds.
I feel like Calvin was probably getting gassed up a bit. Was it like, I wouldn't say he's the favorite, but was he like maybe plus 110?
I think it was minus 150 for Max, right?
Exact on the head.
Okay.
He opened at
Yeah,
minus 135, closed at minus
yeah,
150.
Okay.
That was in hindsight, that was insane,
yeah.
honestly.
Insane. Well, go back and look at his run up there. He had beaten Dan
Yeah,
Ige and Jeremy Stevens, that was two names at the time, you know?
sure. No, no, for sure. Yeah.
Please continue, Will.
Oh, I feel like this could be a trap fight, man, because I feel like everybody and their
Yo,
grandma is gonna be picking uh Steve Garcia. I haven't seen one person say Calvin Cater's going to win, and that line's closing in a bit on Calvin Cater. So that doesn't make any
it
sense
is.
to me. Um, I don't think Calvin's going to win. I'm gonna also pick Steve Garcia, but I don't like the odds on that. I think the books are hoping people still slam Steve Garcia because I think the last few fights that Calvin's lost, he lost to grapplers, and I don't think that Garcia is going to present that issue to him much, even though he might have the ability to. Steve Garcia is going to bang, and when you go to bang, you're open to getting hurt yourself. So I would not be surprised in the slightest if Cater feels comfortable to pull the trigger in this fight, and he
Mm.
wins, and Vegas cleaned up on Steve Garcia money line. But I'm still going to be a sucker. I'm still going to pick Steve Garcia. Hopefully, it's a fun fight. Probably by decision.
All right, you heard it there. Steve Garcia is going to bang Calvin Cater. Next
Okay.
up, it's on the record, Will. You can't go back and change it
Can't
now, no
can't take
matter
it
how bad
back,
you want
man.
to.
Can't take it back.
Next up, similar situation, guy who's a little bit older of a vet, still ranked though, versus a hungry up and comer. Gabriel Bonfim versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Stephen Thompson is ranked number 12, which I'll be honest, that surprised me a little bit. I was not expecting that. Bonfim will go with first. Maritina? I'm not good at Brazilian Portuguese. It's probably where he's from or something. No, I don't know. Somebody, one of you two translate that. We'll see. We'll see. He is 4-1 in the UFC, two fight winning streak. Most recently, Darsing to sleep. He put him out. Chaos Williams in February. On the other side, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is 12-8 with one draw in the UFC, two fight losing streak. He got KO'd versus Joaquin Buckley back in October. I believe that was the second KO loss. He had lost to Anthony Pettis by KO before that. Um, anyway, there's a huge age gap here. 15 years of age for Stephen Thompson. He's 42. On the other side, Bonfim is 27. Bonfim's going to have an inch of height, but Wonderboy's going to have 2.5 inches of reach. And that shows in the odds minus 350 for Bonfim, plus 275 for Stephen Thompson. So we'll go with Will here to kick us off on the co-main. Are you going with the Noah's GOAT, or are you going with the guy who just darsed uh, Detroit's own, I think? Chaos Williams? Blink's own, maybe?
Picking Steven Thompson. I
Ooh.
think I think Bonfim really struggles with that karate stance style, as we saw against him and Nicholas Dalby. Nicholas Dalby got a finish against Bonfim, and if you're getting finished by Nicholas Dalby,
Yeah.
you you might be working at Subway in a couple of years. Yeah, man, I think Thompson's still really legit. I think he's only losing to really, really top guys. As you can see, he can still hang with guys like Kevin Holland, which are, in the 10 to 20 ranked range. Um,
Yeah.
I don't think that because of Thompson's losses that we should think less of him because he lost to Shavkat and Buckley in his last two.
Yeah.
Those guys are one fight away from getting a title shot, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think Thompson's style can make him uh last, like his career will last longer. I could see him fighting another 5 years if he wanted to, because
Wow.
he doesn't fight super often. You
No.
know, so I don't know. Yeah, give me Thompson, man. I think he can there's been many times where he sends these guys back to the unranked realm, and I wouldn't be surprised if he still has one of those left in him. Yeah, give me Wonder Boy.
Yeah, he has done that before. Kevin Holland, Jeff Neal. No, I think Jeff Neal was ranked. Vincente Luque,
He beat I was there
Jorge
at that one. That
Masvidal.
was that was wild. That was
Yeah.
cool.
Genie, where are you going here?
So Maritina me in Portuguese means sledgehammer or heavy hammer
Uh,
used
I
to
thought that
break
was
things.
Maheta.
It's
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 little.
the different they're like coincided the two words. They're
Okay.
like
Inha,
they're similar.
Inha for Portuguese is like Ito for Spanish. It's like a um, little whatever. So it's a little
Yeah,
hammer, I guess.
I
Okay.
guess so.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right,
So
now your pick.
listen, I guess he lost. I get it. He lost to Nicholas Dalby, but I mean, he was 17. He was 15-0 at the point. You know, going up against him. At some point, you got to lose that O. And I mean, Stephen Thompson, he is 42 years old. I hate picking guys that old. 50. He's fighting someone 15 years younger than him. That's insane. That's insane. And Gabriel Bonfim, like I get he's struggling with some of these karate strikers, but man, he's getting 4 takedowns in his last fight. Even in the fight he lost to Nicholas Dalby, he got 3 takedowns and he kind of gassed out a bit.
Hmm.
But I don't think he's going to be gassing out. I think he could get takedowns on Stephen Thompson, potentially find himself in a submission, which might be my pick. Gabriel Bonfim by submission. That's going to be my pick.
All right, and I did do a little bit more research. Ismail Bonfim, the older but smaller Bonfim, is Maheta, so that might make sense.
Ah.
Oh,
Sledgehammer, little, yeah,
big brother, little brother. Okay. Fair
yeah,
enough.
yeah. Yeah. All right, I'm going Bonfim here. Buckley taken down Wonderboy 4 times, didn't look great. Um, he also just isn't. If he was a finisher at all, I would be a little more confident, but I don't think he's going to be able to take advantage of Bonfim's like slowing down. There's also 3 rounds, which makes me think that like I don't know. It makes me think he's gonna have less time to work. He's gonna have less time for Bonfim to gas out. And yeah, give me Bonfim here, not Wonder Boy. Although I don't like these odds. I'll say Wonder Boy has in the past he's been like we've seen him be a spoiler, a few times at selective. He just can't wrestle. The man just cannot wrestle. He never learned takedown defense, and um yeah, give me uh give me Bonfim here. Maybe we get a fun fight or two more out of Wonder Boy. I don't know if he's going till 47, but I think we could get 2 more fights out of him, especially at this pace. Um
Yeah.
so yeah,
You say he's not a finisher, but Nicholas Dalby really wasn't a finisher either. I think if you're an undefeated fighter, you should lose your O to a better caliber fighter than Nicholas Dalby. I just
that's fair.
I can't get that out of my head, man. You know.
Well, have you taken into consideration, I want to make sure I get this right, that Dalby is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4-0 against Brazilian fighters in the UFC. He's never lost to a Brazilian fighter.
He lost
So
to
like
who was that guy that he lost to that was he was up for superstardom. What was his name?
Renat.
No, no. You're gonna like this one. Hold
All
on
right,
one
you figure
second.
that out.
All right,
You figure that out. I'll intro the main event. Um,
gotcha.
all right, main event, 265 pounds, and they're going to need all of it. Some
Wait,
big boys here.
are we forgetting Chris Curtis fight?
Did we skip the Chris Curtis fight?
Chris Curtis, Max Griffin.
We are. Jeez.
Come
I had
on,
to
man.
refresh and it wasn't there. I'm leaving this in. I'm leaving this in.
Go
This is
for
my
it. Go
fault,
for it.
okay? All right. Chris Cur-
Jesse Ronson choked Dalby
Jesse
out.
Ronson. He did. Oh man. He's Canadian, right? I think. Jesse Ronson? That sounds
Yes, he
familiar.
is. Yes, he is.
Gives him superpowers. All right, we skipped a fight. We'll jump back. This is not the main event nor the co-main, but we're gonna go for it anyway. Um, Chris Curtis versus Max Griffin. Blame Tapology. It's all Tapology's fault. Chris Curtis, the action man, minus 310. On the other side, Max Payne Griffin plus 230. These are some bets, let me tell you. Chris Curtis will start with first. He's coming down. I thought this was going to be a middleweight fight at first, but no, he's coming back down to 170 it's been a number of fights since he was at 170. I believe last time was 2021 against Kenny Robertson in ex-MMA 2. Famously was a welterweight fighter for the PFL tournament where he fought. He lost, and then he was in the. Have you guys heard this story? He was he lost against Magomed Karamov in the PFL championships or whatever. You remember when they used to have it 2 in 1 night? Um,
Yeah.
and then he went back and he just started like eating. He was shoving food in his face, and then they're like, "Oh, hey, Magomed's out. You got to fight Ray Cooper for the championship." And so then
That's
he
hilarious.
retired actually, I think. Anyway, um 0-2 is his losing streak right now, but at middleweight and against some pretty good guys, some ranked guys. For that beat Marc-Andre Barrial, so there's a good win there. On the other side, Max Griffin, he's coming off a pretty bad loss to Michael Chiesa. He kind of got manhandled in that loss. So not too great. He is also older. This is an old man fight. I told you, Max Griffin's 39 years old. Chris Curtis 37. He's the spring chicken, the young guy on the other side. Despite coming down, Chris Curtis has given up half inch of reach and an inch of height. So I'm all discombobulated here. I believe it's me, and I'm just gonna go Chris Curtis here. Max Griffin. I have this threshold in MMA where if you look like if you're old enough, if you're far enough in your career, and you just look like absolute dog shit enough times in a row, or you just look so bad, or it's against who you're fighting, whatever, you're just done for me. And Max Griffin's just done for me. Losing to Michael Chiesa in the year of our Lord 2024, old man Michael, gray hair Michael Chiesa, and looking so bad. I'm pulling up the oh, he only got taken down twice. That's interesting. Well, he got taken down twice, and if I remember correctly, held there for
and
a
submitted.
bunch of time, and then he got submitted. So give me give me Chris Curtis here. I don't think Max Griffin's doing anything on the feet. I don't think he's taking him down. That's not his gig. So um, let's hope the Action Man can maybe not make a run, but win a few fights. There's some fresh matchups for him at 170. So yeah, Jeannie, let's hear your pick.
Yeah, it's Chris Curtis. I mean,
Yeah.
it's Chris Curtis. There's not much more to say about this one. Max Griffin is a very unintelligent fighter, I feel.
Yeah.
You said it earlier in the episode about Vitor Petrino, but I think it's actually true about Max Griffin. He's a big dumb idiot. There's nothing going on behind his eyes. Chris Curtis, he's a striker. I mean, he's training with Sean Strickland, so he's throwing
Yeah.
out a teep and a jab. But
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. There's not much to say about this one. Chris Curtis, he's making the rounds last week and fucking pressing a regional fighter. So maybe he's not too focused about this fight.
That was funny.
Maybe he's not too focused about this one. But I think Chris Curtis takes it home.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he didn't lose that, but Sean Strickland got 10-7 by that
Yeah,
regional guy.
yeah.
Will, round us out here. Are you picking the GOAT, Max Griffin?
I am not, but I did have the honor to be able to watch his split decision loss against Neil Magny live in beautiful Columbus, Ohio. That was a very nice fight. No, it wasn't. I saw
Just
Max Griffin
awful.
all fucked up in the airport the day after, like
Oh.
7 hours later. Um, but give me Chris Curtis, man. I think his last three fights, especially, he was like, I'm tired of losing these fights. I'm about to just turn this output up. And if you look in his last three fights, he lands 140, 124, 142.
Mm.
Like that's pretty impressive. And
Hmm.
I think he's been on a string of bad luck, man. He just keeps getting fouled in fights. I think that's not good. I think his last fight he got screwed by that weird ref stoppage. I think that fight could have gone either way on the scorecards, depending on who was judging. Um, he got, headbutts, the eye pokes, the nut shots. It's just really not coming together, dude. If I see him get
No.
fouled tomorrow, I'm gonna be or Saturday next week, I'll be pretty pissed, tomorrow. What am I thinking? Um yeah, I'll be pretty upset to see that. But give me Chris Curtis, probably by decision. Um if whatever his significant strike line is, take that shit. So
Yeah.
um I like that. Yeah, give me Chris Curtis.
All right, for sure. I know you're a good Chris Curtis guy. You like him a good bit, and he's kind of brash, but I think we all like him a little bit. Um, yeah. Speaking of guy we all like, let's jump back to the main event. Talishan Teixeira, our in our hearts. No, I'm just kidding. Main event, heavyweights, big boys. Derek Lewis, the Black Beast versus Talishan Jitao. Jitao, Genie. I'm gonna need you on that.
Our,
Teixeira.
our
T-
resident Portuguese expert.
I
Teixeira is a
also
minus
know for
260.
his
Yeah.
last name isn't actually pronounced Teixeira. It's got a
Oh,
weird phonetics for Taliesin specifically. It's Texteira. They said
Xterra.
it on
Okay.
broadcast last time. DC said that, and he read it out. So I know they must have told him something. They
Nah,
must have
nah,
gave him a slip of paper or something. But it says they said it on broadcast. They said
All
his
right.
name's
All
actually
right.
pronounced Texteira.
Texera. Okay. Texera
we'll see.
Silva
We'll see
is his
about that,
given name.
buddy.
Like I always say, whatever DC says, say the opposite. John Anik actually extremely good at that thing, kind of thing. So yeah, Texera. I'm gonna go with. I can't believe Genie's getting us into a clip. This is a legendary setup.
He's
If
pulling
if you're
one over
clipping
on us,
us,
man.
8-0, one or sorry, yeah, 1-0 in the UFC, and they're like, oh, jump into a main event. And that 1-0 is against Justin Tafa. He just destroyed him in 35 seconds back in February. On the other side, Derek Lewis, much more long story career, 19-10 in the UFC. Um, yeah, he's a lot older though, 15 years older. Telshin Teixeira is Teixeira. Ugh, let's call him Tellison. That's not going to sit right with me. He is 25. Same height. These guys are pushing 265. Let me tell you that. They're both going to be more than 265 on Saturday. Um, 4 inches of reach, 4 inches of height over Derek Lewis. And yeah, he's going to be your minus 260 favorite, plus 220 for the Black Beast. So, Will, I cannot for the life of me remember whose turn it is, but I got an idea of who you're picking. So let's hear you go first.
Yes, we are betting on Derek Lewis. I think people are just gonna bet all over Teixeira. I mean, whatever. Derek Lewis is undefeated against guys that are 6'7" and above. He's never lost to anybody
Hmm.
that tall because he just bombs overhands. I think Derek has an X factor. I think Derek could wrestle this guy because he's kind of a bit of an unknown on the ground. And Derek Lewis has definitely done the body lock trip takedown in the heavyweight division
Yeah.
plenty of times. I could see that happening. Um, I just hope he I just hope whatever Derek is planning to he does it before Teixeira starts to get off because Teixeira is a quick finisher. Um, I wonder how many fights that we don't know about Teixeira that he's had down in that Brazilian regional scene. I'm sure he's
Yeah.
probably had like 15 plus fights that overall, and there's probably, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever fights that
Kickboxing,
we
Muay
that
Thai.
are yeah that we don't even know about that could have been bum fights, setup fights. You ever seen that clip when Cowboy Oliveira, he was fighting on the regional scene? It was some like rinky dink show in like a warehouse, and there was a stream, and the stream cut off, and then he came back, and then he was like raising his hands because he
Yeah,
won.
I remember that. That was
I wonder how
hilarious.
many of those have happened in his career. I don't know. I don't know if we can take much from him killing Justin Tafa. He just smashed his
No,
nose, and I don't know if we can take much from that because what would Lewis do to Justin Tafa? I
yeah,
don't think it'd be. I don't think it'd be any different. Yeah, I'm gonna take Lewis here. I think Lewis, he wins by knockout majority of the time. He's the knockout king. I think people look at Lewis and say, "Oh, he's old." I think Lewis is who he's always been. Um,
yeah.
He's 40 years old. That's not a big deal in heavyweight division. I think this could be a good learning experience for him. I think um Teixeira comes forward a lot, and I think that could play into Derek. These guys are gonna brawl, and someone's gonna get clipped.
Yeah.
Give me Derek Lewis, man. He's a knockout king for a reason. He's undefeated against those guys. He likes to knock Brazilians out. His last two wins have been against Brazilians, and I think he's gonna send another taxi cab driver packing. So give me Derek Lewis.
Yeah. Well, before I give my pick, Jeannie, let's hear yours.
So, from what I can find, Ji Chow means summer grass in Chinese. I cannot find any Portuguese meanings of it. Um,
Interesting.
but
It
Mr.
could be slang, or it could be slang in Portuguese or something like that. Some slang that they
Yeah,
might.
yeah, yeah, some sort of dialect or something.
it's interesting.
Who knows? But listen, I mean, you got a dude 15 years younger than you against a 40-year-old fighter. Rinse and repeat. You know what I'm going to say. I don't like picking these old guys. And Teixeira, he's massive. This dude is massive. He is, like, huge compared to these heavyweights. And Derek Lewis, I don't think he's really, like, he beat Rodrigo Nascimento, but I don't think Nascimento is that good of a name. Like, I think Teixeira is gonna get him out of there. And you mentioned like he hit Justin Taffa in the nose, but like, isn't that how Derek Lewis lost to Taito Ivasa? You know, he got one elbow to the face and fucking folded.
Oh, they went
So
to war for a round and a half.
I don't know. I don't know, man. It looked to me like one elbow against the fence, and Derek Lewis kind of coiled up in a ball. But I think Teixeira, this dude's what? He's 4 inches taller, 4 inches longer than
Yeah.
him. I I think he's moving around pretty good too. I think he's getting Derek Lewis out of there. I hate to say it, but
Yeah, I think this is a Taliesin win. I think he's just the reach, a little bit of height. I don't love the odds. I don't love 260, but this is a guy who a lot younger. Could I see Derek Lewis knock him out in a heartbeat? Yes, easily, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Derek Lewis, the moments are great, but the moments start to happen a little bit less, as time goes on. Um, and would I be shocked? Absolutely not. Am I picking it? No. Am I betting it? God, no.
You
I
got
am
to
betting the
sprinkle
under.
Derek Lewis by knockout. Got to. It's going to be
Uh,
like plus 500.
um, Maybe we'll see. It's we got our betting show. We got our betting show later. We'll talk then. We'll talk
Yes,
then.
sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, that's a fight card. Before we let you go, two quick segments for you. Regional minute. I'll run through the regional cards. Regional May boxing this week. Got ECA 189 Friday the 11th at 10 a.m. Got some title fights and some end of their like 16-man lightweight championship. So no real names, but if you want some fights on, it's free for Americans. Taylor versus Toronto 3, women's boxing going down on Netflix. I believe it's an all-female card. Yeah, you got Baumgartner and somebody, I don't really know boxing names. You got a bunch of women's title fights. So that is Friday, 8 p.m. on Netflix. So if you want to check out their streaming. One Fight Night 33. Yes, one Fight Night. One championship is still around for now. They're not putting any of their stars on this fight night. Alicia Rodriguez, maybe. Anyway, it's on Friday at 9. I believe one of their last broadcasts on Prime Video, they just lost the Amazon contract, so we'll see how long that lasts for. LFA 212, Friday at 9 p.m. Fight Pass. Marcus Dagley fighting for the championship, lightweight championship against a guy. All Brazilian card. They're in Brazil, so not a bunch of names. Cage Warriors 192. Our boy Will Shadul Haig is fighting Giovanni Scott for the flyweight championship. This is this Saturday at noon. Fight Pass in London, and some other guys. Cameron Elsey. You guys remember him from the UFC?
Oh,
He's
yeah.
fighting. Um, Brave CF is Saturday at 1, usually on YouTube. They've got a few guys, nobody really, some prospects, but nobody you really know. BKFC 78, Saturday at 7 p.m., Hollywood, Florida. Um, looking for MMA names here. I don't see a lot. They don't even have a title fight. Um, and then we come to our final segment. UFC 318, Holloway versus Poirier is going down next Saturday, July 19th at 6 p.m. in New Orleans, Louisiana. Uh, it's an interesting card. I think it might somehow be the worst pay-per-view of the year. But despite it not being great, we have to pick our favorite fights and look forward to it a little bit. So we'll start with Jeannie. Jeannie, what fight off UFC 318 are you most excited to see? I'm going to take away the main event. You can't choose the BMF title fight, but
I can't
besides
choose the
that,
BMF title fight, so I'll go to a prelim fight that I have a feeling is gonna be fireworks. Kyler Phillips versus Vinicius Oliveira.
okay,
Pretty fun striker in Vinicius
yeah.
Oliveira. And Kyler Phillips, I mean, he can throw a spinning wheel kick, so not too bad of a striker there either. But he's coming off of a loss, so I think he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder. I think that's gonna be a good fight in the prelims.
Alrighty. Well, I feel like I already know, but let's hear
Definitely Brendan Allen and Marvin Vettori. These guys, this is round two of their fight from the casino that they had.
it.
They had a brawl on the floor of a casino near poker tables and blackjack tables and all that good stuff. Um, I know Brendan, he's a good guy, great fighter. Um, I look forward to that matchup because I think it's a tough matchup for both guys, stylistically. Even though Marvin Vettori's kind of been a nothing burger his last few fights, that's definitely one to watch out for. Another one that I'm looking forward to is Kevin Holland and Daniel Rodriguez. That's a fun fight. And then Dax's personal favorite fight on this, I know already is going to be Ryan Spann and Lucas Brzeski.
Ugh.
So you don't even got to talk, man. I know your favorite fight already.
Oh, thank you so much. Um, that's my favorite bad fight because it could be pretty bad. It could be
It's fu-
really, really, really
it's
bad.
something.
We're overlooking Neil
My
Magny versus Gunnar Nelson.
Oh, that fight's
No,
off.
that's off. That got
Is
canceled.
it? Oh,
Yeah,
Step in Phil Rowe. Call Phil Rowe.
Gunnar Nelson. Better call Big Mouth and fight twice in a night. He would do it. He would do it.
Fuck it. I'm surprised he hasn't
Um,
fought Neil Magny yet.
no, really?
I don't think he's fought Neil Magny yet.
Oh
Isn't
my
that
God,
crazy?
he hasn't. All
That's
right,
wild,
that's.
right?
I don't want to see that fight though. That fight could be awful too. I don't want to see that. Mine is going to be Bruno Ferreira Hulk versus Jackson McVeigh. Not stylistic wise, but well, I guess stylistic wise, but not style wise. These two guys are not going to be in here to point fight. They're in here to bang and kill each other. Jackson McVeigh is a wild man. You look at his Tapology, he only has wins, and it's only in the first round, split evenly between knockouts and submissions. And we all know and love Bruno Hope Ferreira. Just comes in here to bang and uh, finish or be finished, kill or be killed. So I'm loving that fight. I would have said, where are we here? Paulo Costa and Roman Kopylov, but let's be real, that fight's not happening. Paulo Costa isn't making it to the cage on Saturday, right? Come on, it's a Paulo Costa fight. Anyway, we'll be back to break that down. We'll be back to give you some bets for this UFC fight night, but we must end it here at an hour and
three.
22. Hour 22. A UFC Nashville. I love it. Thank
We
you,
spent way
gentlemen.
too long on Lauren Murphy.
We did. We did. That should have been the quickest fight. Will, thanks for coming on. Hail Tuco, Genie.
Did you
Go,
say
Nige.
Hail Tuco?
Hail Tuco. Uh, Not like that. Not, hey, bad boy.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
UFC Genie, the Nigerian daydream, we'll call you. And yeah, MMA roundup as always. Talk to you later.
Have a good one.